Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jerry from Colax, and I want to do a direct comparison between the SmallRig FilMov phone case for the 16 Pro Max and then the newer PA084P modular phone case for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. These are both pretty much trying to turn your camera into a professional camera for an iPhone. So let me just show you the two different boxes and what they came in and what came in the package real quick. So first of all, we have the SmallRig. The SmallRig was a little bit better of an unboxing experience, but there's a lot of wasted space in this particular box. It did come with a case. It did come with a trim ring, and it did have the T mount lens back plate, and then you have the SmallRig capture grip, as they call it, not so much. And then you have a totally different unboxing experience with the newer. The newer comes with the case itself. The trim ring is already attached. Then you get the 17 millimeter adapter backplate, the T-ring adapter backplate, and then you get the 67 millimeter. This is actually threaded, 67 millimeter threaded filter backplate also. So the reason I actually went through and I purchased the newer one first was because of this hand grip. I thought the hand grip would be kind of cool when you got it to put on. You put it on, you snap it into place, and it's kind of there to hold your phone. I don't think it's a SmallRig's problem. I think it's an iPhone problem, which hopefully they correct moving forward with the new one. But it was really hard to reach the phone and using the grip at the same time. So this became really useless for me. With saying that, I did start doing some research on actually getting a grip for the newer case. They do have them starting out about 20 bucks, and they do use MagSafe. That's probably one of the only issues I found out with this newer case was where it came to the MagSafe. Where it came to the SmallRig, it was actually a pretty solid MagSafe for me. But when it came to the newer, it just wasn't as nice. So I would actually be really scared about putting one of those holders for this particular one on this case without putting one of those rings around it. So pretty much, let's just break it down. This did feel like it was a great deal. It was about $16.69 for the SmallRig. I'm going to get the box out of the way. And I didn't think it was such a good deal for the newer, because this was $34.49. But when it came down to just the different accessories that they had, you did get quite a few more accessories on the newer than you did get the SmallRig. They used this as a kind of a marketing stunt where it came to, you had the trim mounting ring. So now you have trim mounting rings on both of them. But what I did notice that the magnets were right here, where the magnets actually kind of go along the side of this particular ring. So when I was recording on my vacation, this constantly kept slipping off for me. It was not a very good experience, where this one did not. So I just want to talk about how you can get these different phones to the point of the same kind of accessories in the box. So I did actually go through and I bought the SmallRig one first, and I started looking for the T-mount rings that they had for the camera accessories. They were really hard to find, and when you found them, they were really expensive. So I went through and I bought a 17 millimeter backplate for the SmallRig. I did find that 17 millimeter threading for that one. It was only $9.99, and then I did actually find a nice adapter. So with a nice adapter right here, this was actually MagSafe for the 67 millimeter filter, where this one was screwed on, but that was about $12.99 for that. So when you kind of try to get to the same price point for the accessories that actually do count, the SmallRig did total up to be $39.99, and once again this costs $34.99. Like I said, I can't take it against SmallRig. It's just, I don't think it's their fault. It's more of the iPhone, but you did get this accessory in it. To do the same thing for this one, you would have to put the ring on it, and it would be about $20 for a really cheap accessory. So moving forward, the one nice thing about these right here is that I did have some other filters that I purchased beforehand and stuff like that I was trying to figure out and use. But I did have it where I was trying to do this experiment before I bought these cases. So let's kind of get into the big things, what I've noticed where I could probably save you guys some money. So I went through and I did a lot of searching, and it just turned out that a lot of the lenses that you could actually purchase for either one of these, had it was 17 millimeter, was more standard to find than it was for any of the T-mounts. When you got to the T-mount lenses, it got pretty expensive for me. You know, I don't got that much money, but man, they wanted some money. So what I found was this NEEWER 18 millimeter lens right here. This was pretty legit. It's an 18 millimeter lens where it comes to a 17 millimeter threading, so you can actually thread it straight on to these right here. So it's actually it's really nice. But that's where I started trying to get into these lenses. And when you bought the lens, it was pretty cool because they actually do show you the different kind of lenses that they, let me see if I get that right there. Different kind of lenses that you can actually purchase that has the 17 millimeter. So the one thing I did notice when I went through and I started purchasing these go off and on where it comes to sale. They could be $29 for one day and $45 for another day. But it was really cool. And I was starting to look into the NDF filters once again. I've already had these picked up before, but I do have ones that are MagSafe. No, I'm sorry, not MagSafe, but they are actually go through and they can actually clip on or screw on. And I had plenty of them. So I had this adjustable NDA filter that I was pretty excited about. And this had it to the point of where you could actually click it onto the SmallRig and it would work. Pretty cool concept, but then you would have to take that lens off. So what I figured out was, going through everything, I did actually find this variable lens filter. It's 1 through 9 stops. It's actually really nice. It does actually screw onto this right here. It does fit the 43 millimeter, but you can actually get a variable filter on here now and take less accessories out of it. So once again, I did use this particular setup. If you kind of notice, it gets really, really dark. But I thought this was the perfect setup for me because I kind of got this out of my bag. Got this out of my bag. And then I was like, okay, cool. Can I use the T? Yeah, I could if I wanted to actually go through and use different adapters I bought for it. Once again, it can screw on. They have variable stuff. It goes on to here if you don't want to use this particular adapter. But there are all kinds of accessories, but this is what I figured would fit for me was, like I said, this was $34.99. And then this lens cost me $42, and then the filter cost me $21.99. So I got a pretty nice setup. The other thing I did notice before I kind of move on was I do actually have these lens protectors right here. So I do put them on my camera. I use them to protect it because I do use this for work also. It does have some really nice clearance to the point of where it comes to the NEEWER. So when I was going through and I was moving and putting these adapters on, this one actually cleared my lens protector where this one did not, because you are removing that ring where this one slides over. So let me tell you about just the different benefits between all of them. You know, dis or dislikes, whatever you want to call it. But the SmallRig case, you do have your fake leather. It's pleather, and it's a little bit more plastic a lot more plastic around the edges, but it does have that, I think, because of where it clicks into this. It's more square than the newer case. The newer case, it feels a lot more premium. It's plastic for the buttons. The buttons are plastic. Where once again, these are actually metal buttons. And the other thing I did notice was when I was doing a lot of my recording and I had this setup on it, I was recording, I noticed something was off on my camera and this thing just slipped up. The magnets are not as strong as the newer. The lens plates are a lot more compact, so it just really depends on what you think of all of that. But they are more compact. And it's one of those things where it could cost more in the long run when you go through SmallRig. SmallRig's prices are up there, and it kind of surprised me. So where it comes to kind of the benefits of this one right here, once again, the newer case, it is fake leather, but it does have more of a rounded edge to it. It feels better in the hand. It has the more premium feel because it has the metal buttons. That was really nice. This magnet is quite a bit more secure than the SmallRig. But once again, these get bigger, but it literally clips on and this thing is not moving. It just feels better in the hand. And when you start putting things into the long run where it comes to actually purchasing the same things that this one had, this could actually cost you quite a bit more for the SmallRig, even though it's a little bit of less cost up front. Like I said, this was useless, but they're both nice cameras. And I just had a little bonus tip for you for the end of this video. Was I did go on vacation. I was using this, and I almost had a heart attack multiple times, you guys. So I would suggest when you go out and you take your kids with you, because it seems like your kids get your iPhones and all that other good stuff, pick up some of these tag holders and a lanyard. I mean, these are cheap. It cost me $5, but what you do is you slip them into your case and you put your phone in, and then you just get a cheap lanyard to tie on it, for they can have it on their wrist or around their neck, so they don't drop it off the Niagara Falls. So just a quick tip, but I do like both of them, but the one that I'm going to stick with, I think, will be the newer. It feels a lot nicer, and I've had quite a bit more like, man, that's a nice looking case. Where can I get it? And the problem is it's only for 16 Pro Max and the 16 Pro also. But yeah, I really like this case. I think you could save some money if you really went with this setup with the NDF filter. Just a really nice setup. But you guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.